Sydney Nelson.
Hey, y'all, I'm Dennis Hong.
And this is Help, I'm an Entrepreneur, a podcast for those who have taken on the challenge of entrepreneurship and who love tips and advice from successful entrepreneurs who have overcome tricky obstacles along the way. Today, I have Dennis Hong, a co-founder of Pattern, a business that completely changed the dynamic between how retailers like Amazon and Walmart handled returns, turning products that ended up in landfills into a sustainable, low-cost experience for shoppers, also known as green purchasing. When it comes to signing on large clients like QVC and Amazon, those processes can seem daunting and cumbersome. Sometimes it can seem like the process itself to get those clients keep entrepreneurs from taking that next step. What was it like going through the process of getting those large clients?
Sure. So I can't say that we landed QVC alone. It actually started with my parents.
Oh.
My parents were essentially, since they started in electronics, they were the dedicated, essentially, repair center for all of QVC's electronics brands. So QVC is they generate 4 or 5 billion in revenue a year. So essentially, all of the returns electronics flowed to my parents. What we did was we changed the dynamic and said, "Hey, what else do you have?" Because my parents have always been focused on electronics. And that's when we made the pivot to shoes and clothes. For Amazon, it's a little different. They originally reached out to us to see if we can help them offload inventory. And essentially, for them, the requirements is, so the statistic is this. So 30% of what people buy are returned. And since Amazon is the #1 e-commerce company in the world, they get a lot of returns.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And all they want to do with those returns is move it. And what we do for them is we're a liquidation partner for them. Mm-hmm. So essentially, they send us truckloads of inventory, and it's our job to process those.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a ton. And these truckloads come in big boxes, probably about this high, and then essentially, it's our job to sift through all these pallets to see what's valuable and what's not.
So I know that there are a lot of entrepreneurs that see that process of even just trying to get connected with Amazon to be able to do that. Was it a daunting process to get all of that, paperwork and everything together to be able to partner with them?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so just because I was blessed with being able to do it for starters,
yeah,
as in we're able to take on them as a client, as kind of like a liquidation partner. Mm-hmm. We have the space, and we have the employees. It was a matter of saying yes to how much they want to give us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That's nice. So you had the ability, and so that made it a lot easier for you to do
right?
that.
Just because a lot of times, if you want to work with big companies like Amazon, you 100% need a software to manage it, which is why we built Pattern. You 100% need the manpower, and more importantly, you need the space, right? Just because, again, for us, we operate in total out of about 70,000 square feet of actual warehouse space. And then we've been so blessed with business that we're trying to probably expand within the next few years. That's how busy we've been.
So for someone who's trying to work with them, they definitely need to plan for all of that.
Yeah, they do. And the most important part is, I think, the software piece and space. You need space to process these pallets, and you need the manpower to go through these pallets. Just because if you're doing it alone, you're going to be, it's a nightmare. And how we describe our warehouse is organized chaos. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we describe it as organized chaos.
All right. So then in that case, what would you tell someone who is having some of those fears about the work it takes to get those large clients like Amazon? They're valid.
Yeah, they're valid, but I mean, at the end of the day, right? If everything was easy, anyone could do it, right?
Oh, that's true.
If anything was easy, anyone could do it, right? So I think about that all the time.
So prepare for the hard work.
Of course, right? Mm-hmm. And that's just the reality of being an entrepreneur, right? 95% of businesses fail within the first year, right? And sometimes within that 95%, those companies have never ever made $1.
Many of us have heard that it takes some combination of skill, luck, and hard work to make a business successful. In Dennis's case, he has had the opportunity to secure a large business relationship via the existing strong relationship his parents' business had with them, and the skill to create new software with his brothers that solved a problem in the returns industry for that client and others. That said, we're starkly reminded, and rightly so, of the hard work and the manpower it takes to make a business relationship successful when it comes to serving companies the size of QVC or Amazon at such a large scale. What we do as entrepreneurs isn't easy, but we can put forth our full effort and skill, and that is something you can be certain will always be 100% in your control as you fight the odds. In Dennis's last episode as our guest, we talk a little bit about time management between 3 different brands. What are the strategies that work best to keep him productive? Plus, find out a couple of tips he shares just for you as he wraps up his time with us. You can find out more about Dennis on LinkedIn and find out more about his company at pattern.io. That's PATTURN.io, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast at helpi'manentrepreneur.com, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify for the opportunity to get early access to episodes and to get answers to your entrepreneurial questions from our guests and more. See you next time.